Darwinian evolution. Junk science.
It's kind of amazing that actual science today proves that evolution is impossible. Genetics proves it. This is picturing a genetic strand. You would actually need a genetic strand much longer than this for the most simple one-celled creature. What is actually involved in this DNA is something similar to a computer program. Every part, every message within this has to be exactly correct. It has to be exactly in the right place, just like a computer program. The only difference is it's many times more complex than the most complicated computer program ever devised by human beings. Just for a single cell animal. How is a massive slime hit by a lightning bolt going to write a complex computer program like substance to define the first cell, the first living cell ever made? Then what is going to keep new information being added onto that to create new species? Where is that new information going to come from? See, this is the big thing that they're not really telling us about. Genetics has totally proven that evolution is impossible. The idea of survival of the fittest, when you consider it in the light of genetics, there's nothing about survival of the fittest that's going to add new information onto the DNA. That's just a simple explanation. There's more to this, and I turn you to an authority who can tell you a lot about genetics. I have this book, Genetic Entropy. It's written by a scientist named J.C. Sanford, Dr. John Sanford, a Cornell University geneticist. This man is one of the giants in the field, literally. He's not some wacko apparatus. Obviously, he understands what genetics is about. He created several companies in the field of genetics. And in his book, Genetic Entropy, he spills the beans. He tells us what the whole field has been hiding from us. And this is the truth of genetic entropy. What does that mean, genetic entropy? It means not only does Darwin's natural selection not provide enough genetic information for any species to evolve into a new species, but the truth is when the species is created, and I say created because what actually happens in the strata of the earth when they find a new species, it's a fully formed new species. There is no transitional forms. We talked about that in my last message on this. Bang, there's a new species. Whenever they find a new species, when that species had first appeared, the genetic code was perfect. Then, as the generations pass, in each generation, it breaks down a little bit. The reason we lose species is not because of survival of the fittest and the strong wipe out those that aren't strong. I'm sure that can happen. But the main reason is genetic entropy. Because what happens is eventually, because there are these little mistakes from one generation to another, the genes then become corrupted until they don't work anymore. And they don't allow reproduction. So then that species dies out. That's the real thing that happens. And you know what? That's happening to the human race. That's happening to the human race. So instead of evolving upward to a higher form of life, what's actually happened with the human race is that we have been devolving. Our genetic code breaks down by something around between 100 and 1,000 data points for each generation. And in any given generation, that's not much. But that then gets passed on to the children in the next generation because that code isn't there anymore. And then in their generation, they lose a certain amount of data points from their DNA. And then that continues on from generation to generation. So this is what has been happening with the human race. And the truth is, there's nothing that can stop it. Given enough time, and the human species will die out if this process were to continue. Now, instead of sounding like Darwin, you know what that sounds like? The book of Genesis, right? Sin came into the world and everything started to deteriorate. There's a record of that in the genetic code of every living thing. Do you think the scientists want you to know that? Do you think the elite that pay the scientists bills want you to know that? This fundamental problem has been something of a trade secret within the field of population genetics, with the rest of the world largely being kept in the dark. And I'll tell you, in his book, he absolutely proves what I'm telling you. So if you really want to know about this, this is the book. And you know what happened to this man? He was a Darwinist atheist. From his study of genetics, he came to believe in a creator. And that led him to the scriptures, and he came to believe in the Son of God. Because what he found, it's in harmony with the scriptures, not with Darwinian evolution. There is no excuse. The information is there. There is absolutely no excuse for the establishment, for the elites to continue to push the Darwinian lie. But they're going to keep pushing it. They're going to keep pushing it. Why? Because it is absolutely vital to their agenda.
Was this video informative? Click the like button below to help spread the word to others. Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss out on more amazing content from Eliyahu Ben David.